from the heart of Dubai, where tomorrow is being built today, to the world. Welcome to the CTO Show with Mehmet. Here, we redefine technology and reimagine possibilities. With Mehmet, delve into the riveting realms of AI, cybersecurity, and digital technology. Experience the thrilling highs and lows of startups. Immerse yourself in the spirit of entrepreneurship and witness the future of business innovation being written in real time. Now, without further ado, let's tune in and explore the future.
Hello and welcome back to a new episode of the CTO Show with Mehmet. Today, I'm very pleased. Joining me, Cosmin Ivan, Platinumlist CEO. I think there's no one, at least in the MENA region, that doesn't know about Platinumlist, Cosmin. But, it's a tradition at the CTO Show. We ask every guest to just tell us a little bit more about, of course, yourself first, and then about Platinumlist, and then we can start the conversation from there. I'm very excited. We're talking events, we're talking technology in events, security in events, which is something I didn't do before. So the floor is yours, Cosmin, and thank you for being here.
Thank you, Mehmet. It's an honor to be here with you. Thank you for the intro and thank you for the good things you said about Platinumlist. Yes, I think it's nobody in the MENA region who doesn't know about Platinumlist. Actually, we have customers texting us and talking with us from Europe, knowing about us because they might have relatives here, they might move there, or they might seen an event with us being sold through us in Europe. And it's very fulfilling because this is a lot of work and passion and amazing team to get to this point. We really enjoy what we are doing, and I think everybody is really passionate to be in this industry. Like you said, events, entertainment. Everybody wants to have tickets for events.
Right.
Yeah, and about me, I'm almost 18 years in this industry when it comes to event management and ticketing. I started in Europe. I was there active for 7 years in the event industry as a promoter. So I was delivering events. I think I delivered in Europe around 60 events, nation tours, and multiple shows. And then the ticketing part kicked in because the event promoter that I was working for wanted to have control on the ticketing, to be able to be flexible and agile on issuing tickets, on doing complimentary, on taking care of the tax reports in a very fast manner. And the best way and the most efficient way was to have the ticketing system. So that was my first contact with ticketing. And from one ticketing, we were managing 3 ticketing systems. And then after this, I moved in UAE around 2014-15. I started with Platinumlist, and I think I remember I joined as a ticketing manager. I was literally going to events, selling tickets. I was the cashier. I was scanning tickets with the founder of Platinumlist. We were 3 people in the office, or 4 people back in the day. And then slowly Platinumlist and with the team, with the founder together, we started doing more things. We started having more variety on the platform. And slowly we became regional. We expanded in all GCC countries. We developed more products, ticketing products, like you said, security and safety features for ticketing, technologies to engage customers. We developed we developed on vertical our company. We developed other sides of ticketing, because ticketing is not only the part that we usually see. We go and buy the ticket and then we have it on our phone or on the PDF. It's actually more than that. It's a full ecosystem from client management to customer management to customer management. So that's mostly my story and my story with Platinumlist and Platinumlist story.
Great, Cosmin, and thank you again. It's very inspiring, I would say. First, I like, humble, beginnings, and seeing something which started as a small, growing that, and I can say proudly, maybe it's one of the first time I interview, a CEO, which I am, customer of them,
Uh,
of their products and services.
great.
So it's one now. When we talk about entertainment events, so we talk about experience, Cosmin, right? And you've been doing this for, I would say, long time. You just mentioned like almost like 2 decades now.
Yeah.
How do you define? Because I'm gonna relate to that later with another question. If we want to define, and by the way, uh, the show tries to cover multiple themes because I believe like we have somehow a way to connect the dots. And I always talk about, the experience, right? From your
Yeah.
perspective, what does it mean a great event experience? So how do you do that? And I know for a fact because again I'm a client, so I know exactly what Platinum List does.
Yes.
So but for the audience, walk me through for you what a great event experience means.
Yes. Like you said, you are a customer of us. I would be very happy on a private note to get full feedback about our product.
Sure.
I'm hungry for feedback to see how we can improve the product. Um, okay. I think from my perspective, customer experience when it comes to ticketing and events, the full experience starts from the moment you buying the ticket, you interact with the event page, with the ticketing purchase, with the checkout, and then you get your ticket, and then you show up to the event. You get through the scanning, through the process of getting to the event, to the soft check from the security, to getting your wristband, and then enjoying the show, and then you go home, and then you are happy. That's the full experience, and that's what we are actually trying to do. We are not the promoter, we are the ticketing, but
Right.
with us, like usually the customer interacts first with the ticketing. That's how he forms his opinion first about the event, is how the customer purchase flow is, how easy it was to buy a ticket, how easy you paid, and then how easy you access your tickets, and you are updated about any changes to the event, and how easy was the information given to you from the event page, and you got your you made your decision based on the page layout with the information, and if you had a problem, how fast was the problem solved, technical problem solved with our customer support. So you know, when you go to an event and you have an experience, you expect to feel good. That's why you're going there, to feel, to create a memory, to have a memorable experience. So any small um, stress point in all of this journey, it will affect your experience, and it will give a bad taste or a good taste. So for us, it's very important to keep control on all of the stages of buying the ticket first time, and interacting with the event page and with the artist through the event page until you reach the event, you get in, and then leaving, and then give us feedback how it was, the experience. So this is how I see an experience. It's from the moment you choose to buy a ticket until you reach home. That's
Right.
and we actually collect feedback on all of that. We ask our customers to give us feedback every time they go to an event to understand what went wrong, what went right, and we share that with the organizer, our partners, and we share the technical side with us, with our team, to make sure we improve constantly the experience.
That's, a great explanation. And, like not only maybe in the events or the entertainment sector, this is what we tell, anyone who wants to start a new business, there's a customer journey, right? And what you just described, the way me as a client to find things easy and then, check out easily, and then I understand what should I do, and then guide me on the day of the events and so on. Now, between all this, Cosman, how much, you know, technology plays a role in this? And I know back in the days we used to we could just like book the event, but actually not the full ticketing, right? So we still needed to go somewhere, print
Yeah.
tickets, and so on. So maybe this is a small part, but if you can shed some lights on how at Platinum List you leverage technology to fulfill all these, steps in the full journey, I would say.
Got it. Yeah. You brought some melancholia in me because I remember the times when we had to go with the tickets to get them stamped in here in Dubai government. We literally had, I think, events 20, 30,000 people, and we had to go with stamps, like with these booklets. And we hired part timers to go with us to help the government stamp the tickets. Uh,
Wow.
to be able to deliver them in envelope or to pick them up from the event depends on the setup. So true. Yeah, thank you for that. um, yeah. So technology wise, we this usually I think the most advanced technology is simplicity. How you keep the simplicity of your product, but still delivering benchmark of technology. So that's the very big intrigue that is roaming around in everything we do is how can you evolve in technology and become an advanced ticketing system, but still keep things simple. So technology is really important, especially when it comes to the market standard now, because what's happening is that we see the ticketing part that you buy a ticket, but also we have lots of risk around the ticketing. So mostly the technology is being driven by market safety, because there are a lot of scalpers. There are a lot of it's a lot of black market around ticketing industry. We know that from lots of concerts around the world. Also technologies that are being built to assist the organizer, but actually can give a bad name to the ticketing industry, like dynamic pricing and so on. So all of those, they need to be ethical. So technology is really important, not only to improve the customer experience, but also to improve the safety of the fans of an event, because we can end up having an amazing event, an amazing artist coming in the region, but then having a very bad experience and get fans to have a very bad opinion about the concert because prices were high, or they get scammed by I don't know which website, or they bought the ticket twice of the price when it's supposed to be a certain price. So technology plays a crucial role, and this is it's a fine line between researching what are the good and let's say efficient technologies that you can use and enhance the ticketing experience, and the fine line of refusing to do some and to apply some of the technologies, because if you overdoing it, then you end up hurting the ticketing process. You end up hurting the customer experience. So that's also very important for ticketing.
I know, like you introduced Cosmin like couple of concepts or using technologies like safe tickets, fan to fan resales. Like, have you seen any decrease in such incidents that you just mentioned? Because yeah, it's not only in one geography. I think this is a global problem.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a famous band or maybe for a great match also as well. We've always seen and we hear about black market and even people selling. So how much this allowed you to see a decrease in the number of these frauds? Like any numbers, any statistics you can share?
Yeah, that's actually a good question. We observe actually 85% drop in fraud cases with us due to the dynamic QR code. We call it the technology is dynamic QR code.
Mhm.
We developed our own encrypted end-to-end technology to scan and validate tickets, and this technology works in a very controlled environment. The ecosystem is controlled in our. So if you um, even if you are offline with your mobile phone, the dynamic QR code still changes and it still communicates with the scanner, even if it's offline mode, even if the scanner is an offline mode, but it will be able to be scanned only with our scanners because the code that changes is encrypted. So that's something we applied, and we've seen a big drop in frauds cases, and we actually have customers thanking us. And the grade of privacy and safety that we gave to this technology is banking grade security, which means that if you want to screenshot your QR code, it doesn't show the QR code
Mm.
up the screenshot. Even if you record your screen to show it that it's changing, again, the QR code doesn't show up. It says no screenshots allowed in the place where the QR code is. So we push this to the extreme, but the idea is that we need to protect our customers, and it's extreme for the fraudsters because they can't cheat it, and it's amazing for the customers because they are happy now. And again, when you want to resell the ticket, it's in this control environment which is encrypted and nobody can crack it, and it's ethical fan to fan exchange. um, 80% of fans are selling it at the same price, and they are capped. It's ethical capped. So everything is to give an honest and trustful experience to customers with the technology.
So I can't come and, for example, buy, I don't know, like 100 tickets for a Formula One Grand Prix in Abu Dhabi and then, start to resell them for higher prices. I don't think this would be possible, right?
No, it would not be. Um, there are countries in GCC that they allow this practice to have a
Okay.
higher price, but the organizer usually puts a cap, like 50%,
Okay.
100% price.
You still
And
can control the price.
yes, yes. So the organizer will decide, but they're usually very ethical, and we
Okay.
advise them like you should do this, you should not do this. And also, to give you the bad news, you will not be able to buy 100 tickets because there will be a limit to it to avoid fraud.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you'll be able to buy maximum 4 or 6 or 8, but to be protect the black
The mass
market,
audience.
yeah, it's capped also the number of maximum of tickets you can buy.
That's great. And I like when you said like it's bank grade security, which is, I'm really happy for a reason, Cosmin, and I would share it very frankly. I speak to a lot of, business leaders, and when we talk about security, so they do the basic things, the minimum things, right? But what you've done is you've done something which is protecting your customers, but I'm sure, and I want you to highlight to me how much this also enhanced how many, I would say, the events. I mean, the ones who would organize these events. So because you facilitate the ticketing part, would want to come to you. So they will. So I'm sure, like someone I don't know, like. Someone in the US, they would say, okay, if we're gonna go and make something in the Middle East, we have to go to Platinumlist because they have the security. Am I correct in this? Like, did this
Yes.
also reflect on the business?
Yes, that's really true. Um, so that's actually what's happening. We have international organizers which they specifically request for us when they go to the venue or they go to the government saying that we want to bring this act here. We want to work with Platinumlist. We heard good feedback. We heard their technology is trustable. It's sustainable. It's robust. So we want to work with them, and we enable them to use all our technologies. We advise them what would be the best for their setup because if you have a small event, maybe it's not necessary to put all the full stack because of various reasons. But when it comes to international organizers, they also come with high expectations because the international benchmark increased. So we are trying to keep up with that and they feel home. So when we tell them, look, whatever you have offered in US or Europe or Asia, we can give you the same setup, the same features. You are safe with us. You can continue your legacy that you build, whatever you are, with us because we are a plug and play for you. That's how we usually say it.
Awesome. Now, one of the things you started with also, Cosmin, like you scaled literally, within the MENA region, and coming from a technical background as well. I know that from logistics perspective, it's a huge effort. No one can doubt it. But also as a technology platform, because today I see Platinum List as a technology facilitator, actually, which is connecting, the the actual artist slash sport event, whatever organizer, than you as a ticketing platform. So scaling in MENA is not something easy. I'm sure like you faced a lot of challenges. Walk us through and how did you overcome these challenges? And I want you to also, just wonder, because you just mentioned some countries they allow this nuances also from cultural perspective, and how hard or easy were it for you also as well?
It's a very good question, to be honest, and very. I think I have few interesting answers. I never been even discussing with anybody this, so this is really cool. Um, so it's true. So there are cultural nuances across GCC. So, for example, here in UAE, resale is not welcome. So if you say resale in UAE, it is not welcome because it has a long history of people being cheated by international websites which allow scalpers to upload fake tickets and so on. So if you want to have your product here, resale will not be the best way to have it. But then when you go to the rest of the region, resale is welcome as a product. But that's why you need to adapt and do your research when you do something with any product. The second thing you said about scaling and how it's not easy. Yes, it's not easy. But I was everywhere. Like wherever we scaled, I traveled there. I sat down. I understood at the beginning, the first 3 or 4 countries. And then I found somebody amazing, which I handed over and I nurtured. And now he's my right hand. So there are a lot of challenges, and you said really you pointed out the main thing that makes it challenging is the culture. You need to understand the culture. You need to how to approach the clients there. You need to understand what is important for them and what you should do for them to be able to be accepted in the market. Um, and another thing that scalability brings, it's not only opening the countries themselves, it's also um, to scale your technology to hold this much volume of events and activities that you will enable after you scale. So that was a challenge because you see, if we look at us as as a system, we are almost we are celebrating almost 18 years of existence since we were born as a company, and we recently celebrated 10 years in Saudi. So we are an 18-year system, and that was built from the first coding to until now. I think we have millions of coding lines. So
Wow.
imagine, yes. So imagine all of the work had to be done behind to refactor and to bring all these new technologies and also understand what was 10 years ago in the system and make it work. Um, but that's the beauty because that's a pure that's an amazing example of vertical integration of the technology. So everything is built in house, everything is done by us, every small line and button you see, it's coded by us, and everything we have control fully on our product. So we are vertically integrated with everything we do, from selecting seats on the map. Everything is done by us in house. So having a system that grew so much and then scale it and then keep up with the demand of people being, it was a challenge. I'll be honest with you. I had some sleepless nights. I remember I slept in the office. I was awake for a few nights to just understand and how we can move forward to the next phase of us. And this was some time back. But that was an amazing experience that we went through. We learned a lot, and um, we changed our approach. We changed the way we code, the way we build our products, the way we hire our people. So it was an amazing experience, which came with the pressure of the expansion and gave us lots of learning curves. And that's what made us what we are today.
Absolutely. I can imagine something here also, Cosmin. For you, from a leader, so you have to, I would say, oversee and like kind of guide the team on any changes that gonna happen. So change management is not something easy, because again, you might change something. Let's say, I'm just giving out of an example. Let's say for the UAE, and but you discover like, okay, it will not fit Saudi, or I don't know. And this can be both on technical side or on the business side. So how do you manage this? Like how change management looks like at Platinum List?
Yeah, that's actually a very good question. Um, I think um, every company needs to understand what they are, and every company needs to understand which is the best management approach to apply to the team. And there are situations where you need to be this type of management, and there are situations in which you need to be this type of management. Sometimes you need to be agile. Sometimes you need to be confident. Sometimes you need to be comfortable. Sometimes you need to go into emergency mode. That's when the management changes. And the most important part in the management is the leadership team that you create. So the leadership team should have a format that you decide based on the situation you are in. And there are many types. Even the books are talking about the type of management that you can apply in your company. But the most important is you to be connected with the reality. You need to be connected with the business reality and understand which mode you switch on and you switch off. Um, and when it comes to the region and the specificality of each country, I think as long as you explain your mission, explain your goals, and explain the type of team you are joining, it will be very easy for you to attract the right people who will promote, will get inspired for your management strategy, and they will follow it. As long as you give them clear goals, you have a clear mission, then management becomes very easy. But if you don't have a clear path of what you want to do and what's your product also, so you need to understand what do you do as a product and what you offer, because there is so much noise around your product and around the economy usually and around the competition. But you need to always know what you are as a product and what you offer, and you should do that in the best way you can, and then the management can be very easy.
That's really inspiring, I would say, Cosmin, and I like the way you explain it. And so you mentioned, being agile, being sometimes, you have to do it now, and yeah, like it's the dynamics. Especially, I can imagine. I never been in entertainment sector, but uh, I work, I would say, in parallel as a technology consultant back in the day. So I know like how frequent changes can happen, and you have to expect like last minute change at any time.
It
Now,
is scary.
yeah, that's by the way, like I think like every sector have this kind of a moment where it happened, but yeah, but probably within your sector it happens like you should expect to happen more than this. Now, if we want to look, and I try to do with this podcast kind of a finding common bridges. So, um, what do you think, as in general, should happen for the MENA event ecosystem from both business and technology perspective, to attract more? I know like we have already good amount, but to see more entertainment tech, let's call it this way, right? So more technology companies focusing on entertainment. You are pioneer in the sense of trying to enhance the customer experience, as we mentioned, the security aspect. So what still we have to do to make things much better and attractive also?
Yeah, that's a good dilemma. Um,
Okay.
but I believe, um, you know, I think when you know what to expect and you know what the market offers, then you attract the right people. So I think transparency, it's the key of enabling any economy. So I think UAE is in a very good place now because they have a very good transparent system when it comes to entertainment, to what can be done. Maybe every time is room for improvement, but the rest of the countries are following the lead, and they are at the moment where they are growing. But transparency will be very good for the actors, for the players in the technology industry, in event management industry, to go there, to do their homework, to understand if there is an opportunity for them to enter that market, to have a clear path of where that market goes, and that will follow. So I think this is a key of any economy to grow, or any field, or any domain in the economy, is transparency, clarity, and opportunities. And if those are communicated, this will follow.
Absolutely. Now, Cosmin, if we want to go back to the technology, and I could have asked this question in two ways, but I prefer the second because it's more like probably applicable. There's a lot of emerging technologies out there, of course, AI and Web3 and blockchain and others. Now,
Yeah.
from your perspective, let me ask you this straight to the point. First, what personally excites you the most? Second, from practicality perspective, because I'm not big fan of just saying, "Hey, we're gonna put AI for the sake of saying we are an AI company," but realistically, where these technologies can take, a company like Platinumlist too, or in general the entertainment sector too.
Hmm. Got it. Got it. Okay. Um, for me personally, what excites me the most right now, because there were few waves, what excited me, and that's also very important how to contain it. Because even
Right.
me as a leader, if I go and just dictate what wave comes in as a technology and ask my team to change all plans every time, that's also not good for the business. But currently, what excites me the most is AI, of course. I'm using myself AI in many things that I do, and I'm trying to be smarter and more agile and more efficient and understand how AI can help me with that. So AI definitely helps. Um, when it comes to events overall, so if you think at the entertainment industry as a whole, we can split it in few segments. So you have the ticketing, the technology that allows you to buy the ticket and go to the event, and
Right.
then you have the experience at the event, which happens during the event when the artist goes in, and then after the engagement after. So if you ask me what can be exciting at an event, um, I might say that the drone shows, some AI capabilities to understand better what the crowd wants, how the movement in the event are being done, and then have some interactive entertainment towards those sides, like combination of where the people are, what the people want, and then cater the experience to them. And AI can do that because it's easy to analyze big load of data and humongous amount of information and points of information, and then summarize a conclusion for you. Um, what I think will benefit the most the ticketing system right now as a technology, I think definitely AI. But when it comes to AI to customer facing, um, there are two sides: it's the customer and the organizer. I think AI will benefit more the organizer than the customer, because
Mm-hmm.
customer usually will be physically at an event. Yes, they have the app, but when you send somebody to the event, you want them to be engaged with the event. So you pushing your app during the event can be a bit of disruption. But it can go hand in hand. Depends on how is the event set up. For example, if it's an event that is very interactive, then you can have the app helping you with that. So that's mostly what are my thoughts about technology and how the events can be benefited by the technology.
That's great. And as we are
More
close
of
to
an
an end,
analysis. It's more of an analysis than my thoughts.
no, that makes sense, and I liked it honestly, Cosmin. Uh, so where do you see, like, things moving with Platinum List? So um, just touch wood, every single major event here, at least in the UAE where I live, I see it's you can buy the tickets by Platinum List. I know you have expansions that you talked about also as well, but what's the next frontier for Platinum List? What do you want to achieve more? Let me ask it this way.
Yeah. Um, that's that's a very tricky question because I need to be between the line of not disclosing too much about our future plans
Sure,
because people are looking at us right now.
sure.
And what can I disclose? So what I can say is that the next frontier is, of course, we want to become a hub of events. We want to make events more discoverable. That's our mission. So we already covering many areas of the world. We are quietly for maybe the last 3 years testing Europe. We have very good results lately because we like to test things before we officially launch them. We are actually working with Asia from with some events. We have some events in US, so we want to push further our expansion beyond GCC. We have some surprises coming in the next months. Yes, few places that we will be expanding our business, and also we have products that will be launched that will change a bit the way an entertainment industry is being seen with technology products and ticketing, which is exciting. So the vision is to become international, global, to make events more discoverable. We want to connect the right people with the right events and expand our product portfolio, which will, of course, in the end, have the mission to improve the customer experience and you as a fan to improve your experience with the event. That's what the future will hold for us.
Great. That's good enough. I would say I'm not greedy, to ask you for something I should not know at this stage. That's, for me, it's good to hear, about the expansions and what's coming, the new product launches. Final thing, Cosmin, before the actual final thing, do you advise more entrepreneurs to be in this sector, especially in our region?
Yeah, I think entertainment needs entrepreneurs. We need entrepreneurs to cover other areas of the event. For example, I think there is a big room of improvement when it comes to academy for events. We need more professionals. We need people who manage events that they have a big knowledge of how things are being done, which will help us a lot. I think there is a lot of room of event management tools that are very useful for event organizers to manage their teams, to manage their budgets, to manage everything related to the ecosystem. Um, I think there is room of technologies and even not even digital technologies, but physical technologies for events on site, like crowd tracking, some AI to help organizers organize better their space, and so on. So there is a lot of room, especially in the entertainment emerging markets. Um, the full region. So when I talk about GCC, I talk about as a union, like European Union and so on, because the mobility is very high. So imagine the locals of the region, the residents, they can go with their ID anywhere. They go
Great.
and they fly in. That's an amazing opportunity for the entertainment business to have all the countries being able to visit each other only with their ID is unbelievable. So yes, I think there is potential. I think there is room for more entrepreneurs to come here and establish businesses for entertainment. And entertainment has a lot of problems, which problems request solutions, which entrepreneur solves the problem with solutions. So there is room.
Absolutely. And I think, yourself, Cosmin, and what you have done and what you told us today with what Platinumlist have done also over the 18 years. And congratulations again for the
Thank
huge
you.
success. It's a motivation. It's a proof that, you can start here. And to be honest, as you said, Cosmin, like the region as a whole is a GCC. In addition to the mobility, they are encouraging also, these kinds of sector to flourish currently. So we have a lot of things coming. So we had World Cups like before in Qatar. We had the
Yeah,
Expo in Dubai. We're gonna have the World Cup again in Saudi Arabia in less than 10 years now in 2034, right? So a lot of things happening, and I think So this is a good time to be here and start. So I will not ask you about where because I think no one knows or at least in my opinion, there's no one that doesn't know where is Platinumlist. So it's platinumlist.net, I believe, right? Any
yes,
other
platform.
any other place to to guide people to?
That's it. That's it. We have an international landing page where we can choose your website, your city or your country, and you can explore whatever is happening there. Yeah. So that's the. And I want to take this opportunity,
Please,
Mehmet, and thank to the whole team. It's not it's always a teamwork. It's always
absolutely.
I'm really proud of all the team that worked in Platinumlist and they are working in Platinumlist and they are doing amazing jobs. They are amazing, passionate people, brilliant people, which we nurture them and we empower them to do great things. And it's not a one man job, one man show. It's a teamwork, and always I'm grateful for such amazing team. And I think a true leader is a reflection of his team. Nobody in the world can be a leader without his team. So, because of them, I'm doing my best and I'm trying to be successful. And their success is my success, and my success is their success.
That's great to hear, Cosman, and salute for this. This I would say way of leading the company and the team, and I'm sure your team also they share the same thing as well.
Yeah,
I can, like I always tell people you can understand if a company is doing well on the way how people when they interact with the company how they are treated, right?
true.
Because if people they have a good culture and I can see this, so it will reflect. And this is I think this is part also of the user experience, and I understand more now why I'm getting like good service. So that was good to see it from the man himself, from you, Cosmin. Thank you very much for being here with me today. And again, all any link we mentioned or anything, you will see it that is for the audience on the show notes. This is how usually I end my episodes. This is for the audience. If you just discovered us by luck, thank you for passing by. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did so, give me a favor, subscribe and share it with your friends and colleagues. And if you are one of the people who keeps coming again and again, thank you very much for your support. Thank you for all what you've done for the podcast this year. We are ranking in 6 countries, sometimes 7 countries, sometimes five simultaneously, but I didn't see this at the past 2.5 years since I started the podcast. So this cannot happen without two factors. First, you, the audience, and second, you, Cosmin, and all my other guests also as well. So I really appreciate this. And as I say always, stay tuned for a new episode very soon. Thank you. Bye bye.
Hit that subscribe button, share the show with your tech-savvy friends and fellow entrepreneurs, and leave us a review on your favorite podcast app. Your support means the world to us.